Leaving this station, heading out to Susquehanna Station, which is in the Porches and Parlors area. That's our next stop. I'm Conductor Bob, and I have to give you the safety talk before we can leave the station. If you have small children with you, we ask that they be placed on the inside of the road. Adults on the outside edges of the seating. If that's not practical, make sure they're held or easily within your reach during the ride. Second, everybody needs to be safely and properly seated, which means head, arms, inside the car, also your feet. And no moving around on the seat during the ride. There is no eating, drinking, vaping, or smoking on the ride. You may drink water, but make sure if you take a drink, you put it back, tap it back up and hold it. As we go around the corner here, you're going to see a white building that's over there. That is the birthplace of Henry Ford. It was moved here from about 3¼ miles away in Deer Barn. And up the street before it is the Ford Motor Company, and behind which is the Model T loading dock. You can take a ride on a real Model T. They go inside the farm building. There are representatives in there who can tell you about Henry's life as a young man before he got to New Orleans. Looking up the street, as you see just past it, that's Main Street, or another district in the city, around Greenfield Village. Up Main Street, you'll find the Wright Cycle Shop and the Wright Home. Those are both brought here from Dayton, Ohio. That is for the Wright brothers. And across the street from them is Sarah Jordan Millinery Shop. No, Cohen's Millinery Shop in Detroit. Ladies, have a look at the hats that they're really beautiful, and you might want to buy one. Going around this corner, we're now entering Edison and Work District. This is inside that white picket fence. Thomas Edison's Menlo Park Laboratory from New Jersey. Edison had 1,093 patents in the United States and several hundred over in Western Europe. Everybody knows about two of them. That's the most of us know. And that's a light bulb and a phonograph. People in there can tell you about more inside the building. Across the street there, that bright yellow house is Sarah Jordan Boarding House. Many of Edison's single male employees resided there, and it was the first residence in the United States wired for electricity. We're now approaching the Ackley Covered Bridge, which was built in 1832 and in southwestern Pennsylvania before it was brought here. It is one of the main entrances to get to Porches and Parlors area. Up on the top of the hill is Maple Lane, and that's where the Porches and Parlors buildings primarily are. There are some just famous buildings for one reason or another, historic buildings, and also some famous people's buildings, like Robert Frost right at the top of the hill, famous author. Noah Webster is the dictionary. And there is Cockwell Cottage up there, which was a stone cottage along with some basic buildings that were brought here by Henry Ford as a gift to his wife, because she just loved the area that it was in England when they visited there. Now we've got Ginger welcome us into Susquehanna Station. Please remain seated until you hear the whistle blow. You want to get off? Good afternoon and welcome to the Greenfield Village Railroad. We're glad to have these new passengers who got on here at Susquehanna Station. We'll be leaving here and heading out to Smith Creek Station, which is in the Railroad Junction area. Now, there's some safety rules I have to go over. I'm Conductor Bob, and if you have small children with you, we ask that the adults place themselves on the outside of the road. If that's not practical, make sure that they are held or easily within your reach during the entire ride. Second, there is no eating, drinking, smoking, or vaping while you're on the train. You may drink water, but we ask you to seal it up after you've had your drink, and we don't want it spilled on the car. In addition, We ask that everyone remain properly and safely seated. By that we mean no moving about on the seats while the train is moving. Also, we want hands, feet, arms, legs, and heads all inside the car during the entire ride while the train is in motion. We thank you for joining us here at Susquehanna Station and hope you've had a good day so far at Greenfield Village. Now, as we're leaving here, that white building on the left is the home building of Susquehanna Plantation. Young man, get your head back inside the train. Now, they were a successful plantation on about 700 acres in Maryland, and they raised corn, wheat, and tobacco. As we pass the plantation buildings, we'll next see the Plimpton House. This was a single-room home that was occupied by Mr. and Mrs. Plimpton and 7 of their children. As we pass it, you see the white windmill there. That's from 1632. It was on Cape Cod and sent here by part of Henry's Dealers Association members. The black building behind it is Jacket Farm. That was built before the Revolutionary War. And the people who lived there were very busy taking care of their families. The presenters of the Jacket Farm fix themselves a meal, and they use some of the produce they grow in the grass behind them. If you look over on the side there, this is a paddock area where horses get to come to rest after a few days' work in the village. They pull the wagons around and pull farmers, and they come out here for 4 days to ease their muscles. The engine pulling us today is a Torch Lake, the oldest coal-fired steam engine in regular use in the United States. It was built in 1872. We're now going to go around the corner here and into our wildlife reserve area. Animals you might see, but they seem to be hiding out a lot today. People in this area know that we have some deer, we have some foxes, we have raccoons, we have squirrels, there's one of our wild turkeys, and we also have a couple of coyotes in this area. On the right, you might see some egrets or some blue heron in the Root River that's flowing by here. You're going to see a shoot of steam coming out the side of the car to the engine. That's called blowdown. It builds up from boiling water in the pipes. I'm going to be quiet now, and you can enjoy riding as you would have in the late 80s, early 90s, and the early 1900s. That we use for some special events, but every Saturday and Sunday during the summertime, we have old-fashioned baseball there. 1876 rules. We have 2 teams of our own. They play against teams from all over the Midwest. Sometimes our teams travel to their location to play against them. buildings up on the top of the hill there, that's Maple Lane, and they are the buildings in the porches and parlors area. The one with the red brick addition on the back of it there, that's Noel Webster's house. Ahead of you, that bright yellow and brown building is part of our Henry Ford Academy. Henry Ford wanted youngsters to have an opportunity to learn about science, technology, math, the arts, and generally get their minds going for thinking about engineering and other innovations that might happen. We could sometimes be seen out here visiting with them, or maybe going on a field trip with them. Each year we have about 525 students. Admission to the 9th grade is by lottery from residents in Wayne County. The 10th and 11th grade meet out here in this building. And as we go around the corner up here, you're going to see 3 Pullman cars that are in the classrooms for the senior class. We have up to 525 students we average each year. We have a 95% graduation rate for those who become seniors. There is a waterway that you can see over there that is part of our lagoon. And the lagoon is a water collection area that helps us avoid flooding up in the village because we have big drains up there along with the piping necessary to run all the rainwater down into the lagoon. As we pass the classroom here, on the left you'll also see some canoes alongside the lagoon. Those canoes are used by the counselors and the summer campers that come here. They get a chance to take a ride around the lagoon and have a look at things that way. Listen for the signal now to cross it. That signal is used even today on the railroads in America and in Canada. Up ahead on the left, you'll see a small stone building. It's a gatehouse. Behind it, up the hill, is Martha Mary Chapel. Martha Mary Chapel is a non-denominational chapel that was built by Henry Ford, named after his mother-in-law and his mother. We have tons and tons of weddings that occur here during the season that we're open. Next to it, there's a green building that you'll see, and that green building is the entrance to Taste of History. Taste of History is a cafeteria-style restaurant here in Greenfield Village. At the other end of Taste of History, there's a white building. It is Eagle Tavern. That's our sit-down restaurant. The building used to be a stagecoach stop on the way from Detroit out to Lansing. The servers will serve you at the table wearing 1860s clothing. Further along, you'll see the cupola on top, the small roof over there. That's where our Herschel Film and Carousel is, 1913. And past it is our newest restaurant, Stand 44. That's the only place that you can actually find pizza on the menu that you can order. We're now pulling into Fifth Street Station here in Railroad Junction. We ask that you remain safely and properly seated until you hear the whistle blow one time. The engineer stops the train, sets the brake, he'll then blow the whistle. It will then be safe for you to deboard on the left-hand side only. There's the whistle. I heard it. Well, for those who just joined us here, welcome aboard the Greenfield Village Railroad. I'm Conductor Bob, and I have to go over the safety rules with you. First of all, if you have small children, we ask that the adults place themselves on the outside of the road. If that's not practical, make sure that they are held or easily within your reach during the ride. Second, there is no eating, drinking, smoking, or vaping while you're on the train. You may drink water, but then after you've had your drink, please make sure you close it up and keep it from spilling. Last but not least, we ask everyone to remain safely and properly seated during the ride. Keep your head, hands, and feet all inside the car during the entire ride while the train is in motion. We'll be leaving here and going up to Firestone Station. That's at the entry and exit area from Greenfield Village.
All right, ready? Let's go. 3,
As we leave the station here, we'll say goodbye to Jeff. Thanks for getting us off here on time. And also, Lori's up there. Other station master working today at each of the stations, so she was moving around. The Smiths Creek building there that you see was a train station on the railroad in Smiths Creek, Michigan, that the railroad ran from Detroit up to Port Huron. And it had a special reason that it got brought here. If you haven't ever been in there and heard the story, you might want to stop in and talk to the presenter that's in the building. Down to the left there, you'll see an open structure. That is Detroit Central Market. We brought here a couple of years ago, and we have lots of activities there on weekends especially. The building ahead of us is the 1884 Marshall Roundhouse. The Roundhouse is the place that we maintain our 3 coal-fired steam engines and all the rest of the machinery and equipment that we use in the railroad function here at Greenfield Village. Up ahead of you, you'll come to some pine trees and other trees that are blocking the view of another district. That is the Liberty Craft Works district of the village. In Liberty Craft Works, we have glass blowing, we have weaving. We also have a pottery making shop and a print shop. You might want to stop and see that going on. Although I will tell you that the glass blowing's a little hot, so you might want to go in there this afternoon. As we go around the corner up ahead, we'll be entering our largest working farm, that's Firestone Farm. This was the birthplace of Harvey Firestone of the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company. And it was moved here from Columbia County, Ohio. Workers in the farm building do prepare a meal for all the workers who work out in the field and up in the barn, taking care of the crops and the animals that we have. There might be some of the farmers out in the field working here. They're working around the corn and so forth. They'll be got to wait for you to go by. Alright, now we're coming into Firestone Station. We're going to ask that you remain seated, properly seated, until the train completely stops and the engineer blows the whistle. This is the location that the safety boarding will be on the right-hand side only.
Alright, we'll take our picture of everything.
Please remain seated until you hear that whistle blow. We will be here about 8 minutes. There's the whistle. It's now safe.